Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sales Mindset TV show. I'm Chris and I'm here with Steve.
Hi Chris, hi all.
So today we're going to be talking about being a leading voice again, but today I want to talk about defining your audience.
Okay.
And kind of not just defining them, but how you speak to them.
Okay.
Because we're talking about being a leading voice, but there's no point having an opinion and talking about how to set up and grow your business in a room full of corporate people, because it's completely the wrong audience.
Yeah.
So you need to define your audience, don't you,
Yeah.
and understand how to speak to them.
Well, I think that's more and more relevant with the access that people have to information and how easy it is for us to communicate now. There's so many channels that we can communicate to what we believe are our prospective clients. So it's a little bit in the sales funnel, suspect, prospect. But knowing where your audience hang out is one thing.
Yeah.
Knowing who they are is another thing, right? So when I set up my sales consultancy business, which is a business that's focused at medium to large size companies, I was going to networking events where there were smaller business owners, and the mismatch was frustrating for me. I could only imagine how frustrating it was to the people listening to me pitch. I hadn't defined my offer or my audience well. So knowing who you talk to and where they hang out is really, really important. And every social platform will have its own way of defining that.
You're right, every social platform, or whether you go out and about, you have to talk slightly different, because every person on that platform engages in a different way.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to work out where your audience is, you need to work out how to speak to them.
Yeah.
You know, what style of posts you should be posting, you know, what types of colours, you know, what wordings, if you should be asking questions. There's quite a bit to think of.
Well, there is, and you know, and while we're remember, this is about positioning yourself as a thought leader, as that sort of leading voice. One of the important things here is, once you've defined your audience, is remaining current, right? So bringing in to that audience latest research or latest pieces of advice. I mean, I see you do that around social media. When something's changed, you let your audience that it's relevant to know the impact of that change.
Yeah.
Similarly in sales, if there's things that are changing, me remaining that leading voice, if I'm talking to the right audience, I have to also be very, very relevant. So, within this group, it's really important that we keep the relevance of our information, to keep it current and to keep it right.
And I think people need to realise as well is that their audience will grow. A lot of people think that because they don't start off with those hundreds of people following them, that they're never going to be that leading voice. But every leading voice took time to grow, didn't they? So you need to start somewhere. You start educating one person or two or a couple of people, and sooner or later the audience grows.
Well, I mean, but that's a big mindset thing, right? Because not only, you might have a view of your own capabilities and skills, and you are wondering why people aren't flocking to your opinion. It's a bit like your offer. Why doesn't everybody want to buy from me? But actually, you have to nurture that, and you have to be prepared to work at it. Being that leading voice in your industry, your sector, is about consistency, and social media and the platforms of networking give you that ability to be consistent. But there is a confidence piece to start that, right? And to actually say, I'm gonna blog. I'm gonna put my first blog out there. That's kind of weird for some people. Why would people be interested in that? If you're doing it for the sake of doing it, it will remain weird. But if you're doing it with the purpose to create yourself as that thought leader and to help educate people in your sectors, your field, your network, it kind of makes more sense.
And don't give up if only one or two people have read your blog, because more and more will read it as you build up that audience.
Yeah, and some you hit lucky and some you don't.
Yep.
It doesn't always work. There isn't. I mean, you've taught me this over the last year or so, that the most perfectly constructed social media post that's giving out great opinion, positioning yourself well, will get no engagement, then something that's a little less thought through, but is still very meaningful, catches the wind and goes. So, it's about trying different methods, but being of the mindset that you're going to try, you're going to do it, is a good place. Without doing it, of course, you're not going to get that position.
So, top tips on this.
Well, in this one, it's probably as basic as just publish content online, because the good thing about that is it's there for the history books, right?
Yeah.
So you can go back to it, you can repurpose it, you can refer people to it. If you are looking to grow your position as a leading voice, it's really important that you publish content online.
Brilliant. That is all we got time for today. Hopefully that's given you quite a bit of information about, and that push really, to start publishing stuff online. If you're still unsure or you got any questions, do comment in or do message Steve directly, and I know he will happily get back to you. But from us here, thank you very much, and we look forward to catching you more in the week regarding being a leading voice.